Good morning, Emma Gold here from South Start Horse Training. Today we're back with Cassie. Today we'll be hopefully putting the saddle on Cassie for the first time, so we'll just run through everything we went through yesterday. Good girl. And she's come out with a much better attitude today, although saying that. She's already thinking she's not rushing as much, although we're dropping her shoulder a little. I need to be able to get my tools on her, and I need to be able to tap on her without her losing her mind. But yesterday I had to tap on Cassie a fair bit. She kind of would brace against it instead of moving off it, but today she's gone the other direction. Now she's super sensitive. So, just going to tap on her a little bit. I just want her to settle down. I don't want her eyes bugging out of her head. She's kind of going, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. The important thing with these horses is that we find a medium balance. Good girl. We want them not too sensitive and not too dull. The Cassie's gone from being really dull to really sensitive. So obviously I offended her yesterday when I tapped on her. She sort of thought that was unreasonable. Good girl. I'll tap on this side, do the same thing. I don't want Cassie wigging out about it. I'm not giving her any other cues at the moment, so good girl. Good. Good, Cassie. Yep. Good. Now do this way. Some lateral, less forward. Good girl, good girl. No forward. Shoulders, good girl. I love how she's really figured out these shoulders and hips. As soon as you unlock those shoulders and hips, it means that they can achieve a lot of other movements and maneuvers. Good girl, Cassie. So I've just moved her body around, moved her feet around a little, and now I've come back to lunging stage 1, and she's a lot less reactive. She's keeping that shoulder up nicely now. Good girl, Cassie. Good girl. She's looking a lot more balanced. So if you come out and you think, I'll just get my horse's feet moving, and they come out and they're a bit fizzy and they're a bit too forward and they're kind of rushing everything, you kind of need to get their feet moving more in a more technical manner, something that's really going to engage their brain. So now I'm going to move her shoulders. Good girl. Good girl. See how she keeps stepping behind? So she needs to come forward a little. There. Good girl. Good. Nah, forward. Good girl. Good girl. Bring it up there. We'll do the hip, which she's quite good at already. Good girl. Other shoulder. Good girl. Good. Step behind. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Good girl, Cassie. Good girl. So the more I start to work with these horses, the hindquarters, moving the shoulders, lunging for respect stage 1, good girl. It really makes the horses start to think, and it gets them nice and soft and respectful. I really like what Cassie's offering me here. You'll notice now that she's worked this out, she's got a better trot now. It's really interesting from my experience with standardbreds, we call them square gaiters, the more unbalanced and nervous they become, the more they revert back to that pacing gait. Good girl, Cassie. The more relaxed they are and the more balanced they are, then the more they have a tendency to stay in that nice, balanced, rhythmic trot. They have this extra gait that is not ideal for riding horses. Good girl. I like how she's come straight back to that trot. She found that on her own. Good girl. Good girl. So now I'm going to move her hindquarters around. Good. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl, Cassie. Good girl. So she gave me 3 steps there where she didn't walk forward, so I stopped her. Come up. Come up. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. All right. Good girl. Good. Good girl, Cass. Crank it up. Or get it up to a level where I would think it's firm enough. Right. She's certainly, I'm not too stressed about her at the moment. I'm mucking around down here and she's standing there quietly, not really giving me too much grief. So that's on nice and firm now. I would say that's about where you would want it if you were going to ride her. Oi. So now, I don't have my stick on me, but I'm just going to let her walk around and feel that out a little. Now, they're always allowed 1 free buck when I saddle them up for the first time. I would prefer they don't buck, but this is their opportunity if they're going to. She's having a bit of a feel of it there. She's not too sure about all of that. Good girl. So she knows that's on there. I can see her looking back at it at the moment. She's not too sure about it. She hasn't, she's not showing any indication that she's going to, good girl. Come on. Good girl. A lovely trot she gives us when she trots over those trot poles. I like how she's really slowed herself up here. Good girl. Oh, perfect work. Good job. Come on. When Cassie's using the thinking side of her brain, she's very, very good. She gets things, she's smart, she picks things up quite quickly. Yeah. Wait, there you go. I like to make sure they're actually paying attention. Make sure they're not just gazing off down the paddock looking at their buddies and thinking about what they're going to do this afternoon when they're back out in the paddock. Oi. Good girl. Hey, good girl. So here she wants to run backwards. That's not the right answer. There, good girl. Come on. There. So it's kind of like when we're up in the saddle and we use our legs to bump them forward. Good girl. Soften her, good girl. Good. Move her feet. Move her feet. You see, she's now moving a little faster than she was before, and she's still maintaining that 2-beat trot. Good girl, Cassie. Up. Good. I'll bend her. Sweet. Good girl. Good girl. Hey. Good girl, Cass. Hey. Good girl. I'll hop on from the other side and we will leave her lesson there today. I can actually get my leg up in the stirrup. Oh, this is the side that does not work so well. There we go.